trillions will flow into cryptos like Stellar XLM. Nathan, how are you getting to that conclusion? Well, before I answer that question, please like, please subscribe. It helps us with the YouTube algorithm, and I can keep delivering content like this to you more frequently. Now, with that aside, I'm talking about the BOE, Bank of England, gilts, treasury bonds. What is going on with the markets today, and how is it going to affect Stellar? How could it affect Stellar XLM? Well, for that we need to understand actually what is going on with the bond markets in the UK, and why is this happening, and really what can be done, what should be done, what is the responsible thing to do. Well, it's clear previously bonds, UK bonds, gilts had tanked massively several days ago, a week or two, couple of weeks ago, and it's the BIXI had tanked massively. It was almost 1-to-1 ratio, dollar to pound, never seen before. Some people are calling this the zeroing out, the flipping of the switch, where all things start from zero, right? Against the pound, the dollar. And we saw this happening with several currencies around the world. The AXI, the JAXI, the XI. Those baskets of currencies, right? All tanking against the dollar. But for us here in the UK, the trigger, the loss of confidence was the bond market, the premiums on the bonds, the gilts, dropping massively because pension funds had been selling their bonds. Now, if you don't know, pension funds over here in the UK are backed by these UK Treasury bonds, these gilts. They use the gilts to secure the pensions because it's considered more reliable than the actual currency, the pound. However, this buying of gilts from pension funds has caused a massive crash in the bond market because these pension funds had become massively over leveraged. So when I say over leveraged, I mean they are taking out credit effectively, bet spreading, okay? And when you do that, you're basically saying, right, I believe, you know, the market or whatever asset I'm buying is going to increase or decrease, as it were, and therefore I'm going to take out a bet on that, like a derivative, and I'm going to go 10x on that, so I'll make a whole load of money. And this is what they were doing, essentially gambling. And now, what happens when you have these spread bets is you've got a contract then, essentially, and you've got a time frame. And when that time frame expires, your assets sell off, no matter where it is in the market. So if you bought at a higher rate than what the current price is, you've lost out. If you bought at a lower rate than where the current market price is, then you've won, essentially, and you'll get your 10x or whatever. That's how I make of it. Correct me if I'm wrong. In any case, I digress, and really what is going on, or what's happened, is these pension funds have been margin called by the creditors, effectively. And where they've been margin called, they're having to pay back the money that they had borrowed. And this effectively means they need to get the money from somewhere. So, the way in which they had to do this is to sell their bonds. Bonds have been selling off, the gilts have been selling off in the UK because of the pension funds. The bad monetary policy with these fund companies. Sparsely not regulated very well. And so they've been allowed to bet spread. Bet spread. And as a result, this has been a massive problem. It's been a massive problem to the degree that the Bank of England has to U-turn on quantitative tightening and start quantitative easing, QE, yet again. And this, again, is sparsely irresponsible, because what it means for us is inflation. Printing money, quantitative easing, is equal to inflation. You print money, the value of that money is less and less for every pound that you print. Less and less, devaluing the currency. And so, it's irresponsible because it means for us to keep the same standard of living, we have to work twice as hard. Eventually. Take up a second job. And really, unfortunately, this quantitative easing isn't really going to do much. It's not going to do much at all. But what we have to think about is, what should they be doing? And it's really unfortunate, but it is a fact of the matter. We need to get inflation down. Inflation needs to come down. Okay? Inflation needs to come down, or wages need to go up. Therefore, inflation doesn't really matter. It's just a figure. You know? How can we get wages and salaries up? How can we get these wages and salaries up? Well, print more money, more subsidies. All the countries across the nation should be funded with loads and loads of money so that they can increase salaries. 2, above inflation, kill inflation. Brilliant, great idea, isn't it? No, it's not a great idea. Why? Because that's what we call nationalisation. That's what we call not a free market. That is not capitalism. It's something else. Some might call it communism. Others might not. In any case, I digress. What's this got to do with Stellar? Well, if we let the markets do as the market should do without interfering, companies will fail. Yes, we'll have a depression. We're in a depression. Yes, we'll have a recession. We're in a recession. We're not in a depression. We're in a recession. At the moment, some could say we're in this period of stagflation. And we are, because governments are still printing and just keeping us teetering along recession, right? Call it stagflation. High interest rates and inflation, high inflation, right? Check out the CPI data. Things cost a heck of a lot more, right? So we've got that. We've got those things. We could call it stagflation, right? Now, if we want to get out of this high inflation issue without becoming some sort of communist country, then we really need to let things fail. Let the markets decide who are the winners, who are the losers, without any intervention from government, without devaluing the currency even more. Simply letting this happen will enable green shoots And yes, it will probably lead to a depression. But this will then, it's inevitable. I'll tell you that now. It's inevitable. It's just a dependency on how far they want to print, how far they want to go with printing and devaluing the currency before they let things fail. Because things will fail. Things are going to fail. Make no mistake. But when they do fail, and it's just around the corner, my belief, then a new financial system is going to be ushered in. And the rails for this new financial system, like CBDCs, through a standard ISO 20022, the rails provided for this system will be based on blockchains like Stellar XLM, Quant, XRP. These rails will deliver this new financial system, interoperating everything all together and bringing us out of a depression, out of a recession, into a new golden era. I believe this, and I believe it's just round the corner. And I think whether it's tomorrow, whether it's the end of the year, whether it's 2 years down the line, it's coming. So, Stellar XLM will see trillions of throughput, and that is how I'm deriving at that. In any case, I'm Nathan, aka Nathan of Zion. Smash the Zion coin up there, like and subscribe, it helps with the YouTube algorithm, and I'll see you in the next one. And check out the next video, because it's going to be on Stellar, and it's going to be important. You're going to need to watch it. Have a great day now. Take care.